Now, have I got a bit of a special video for us today, guys? In my opinion, a very special Triumph Thruxton 900. Listen to that! She is a beauty! Very old school, cafe racer style motorcycle. The 900 was discontinued in 2018, replaced for the 1200, but there's something very unique about this bike. Let's get into it. Oh yes, I'm very pleased today to be able to present to you this stunning looking Triumph Thruxton 900. I think this is a really special bike. Obviously this is not a standard Thruxton 900. There are a few added extra features to it that just make this bike in the person look really, really nice. That really classic British style to it. And of course there are a few little added extra add-ons that make it sound a little bit fruity, as I hope maybe you could tell in that opening clip there when riding it. I'll go over what's a bit bespoke about this bike, sort of the looks wise, etc. And then take her for a ride, hit the road, see what she's like to ride. Right, straight into the meat of it. What is making her sound so, quite frankly, crazily nice? It is a really surprisingly loud bike, this, but it sounds sweet. It's the afterparts, special parts, Arrow exhaust. Don't know, but looks pretty much straight through to me. It's got a baffle. I presume the baffle is out, I think. Looks like it is, but it's dual-sided like standard on the Triumph Thruxton 900. Just changes the whole character of the bike. As soon as you turn it on, the whole thing comes alive, and that is really needed on a retro cafe racer style bike like this. If you have a muted exhaust, I often find it just doesn't work. You really want that bad boy sort of characterful rasp from the exhaust, and this just nails it. It's a beautiful sound. Right, so don't worry, I'll give you an exhaust sound clip of the exhaust in a second. We'll just go over a few more unique features of the bike. Excuse me if I'm squinting, I'm looking right into the sun and I forgot my sunglasses. Amateur error. Paint. So you've got, I'm not sure of the official name, but it's a deep, classic British racing green. Perfect, exactly what I would personally want on my British cafe racer. Just makes sense. Along with that, you've got your sort of gold pinstripe, racing stripe, all the way up through the small fly screen here, following down on the tank and into the rear race cowling on the rear there. It's just a lovely setup. Along with that, if we come down here, got your Thruxton 900 with a sort of finishing line checkered flag there on the side, which is a lovely touch, adds to that cafe racer style vibe to the bike, makes it a little bit more unique. Also, you've got your brown stitched seat here, which just contrasts beautifully with the deep British green colour of the paint. Also, not to leave out, you've got some nice aftermarket. They're actually rubberized, these. They're not fabric, but that's good. They'll hold up in the bad weather conditions. Brown sort of mimics diamond stitch grips there, along with the chrome mirrors, and of course the nice old school chrome surround dual dials on the Thruxton, which all just ties really nicely into that old school look of the bike. Okay, this is what motorbikes should sound like. Have a listen to this. She is a fruity one. This is what a motorbike should sound like. That is just awesome, and it's even better when you're on the move. Now, I should explain, as you may be able to see, that is not the Salt Lakes. That is a frozen flood in a field. Yeah, so it is still pretty nippy in the UK, so I'm going to take it a little bit easy on the roads today, although the sun is out, so hopefully some of it has melted away. What we're working with, we've got an 865cc parallel twin with 69 horsepower and 69 newton meters of torque, so it's not a really powerful motorcycle by any means. However, that's a nice amount of power for a retro style bike for just having fun on the roads. But when you think cafe racer, you're not thinking massive power figures. It's more of an old school retro vibe to the bike. Now let's jump on, go for that ride. So guys, weight-wise, we're looking at 230 kilograms. So it's not a light bike actually, I must say. When you're manoeuvring it around on the ground, you can feel the weight of it. It's a relatively old bike anyway, and it really does feel like you're riding an old bike, especially when you're manoeuvring it around. But it's not mega heavy, but it does seem to notice. You can slightly notice that weight, but once you're up and moving, it's not a problem at all. So immediately jumping on, I mean, the main thing that stands out is the exhaust. The aftermarket Arrow exhaust really just brings this whole thing, this whole package together for me. It's not the quickest bike in the world, it's not the best handling bike in the world, it's not the lightest bike, it's not got the best suspension. It's not saying all of that's bad. I mean, in this segment, it's pretty standard in the cafe racer segment. It's a simple, classic, modern classic motorcycle. As soon as you chuck an exhaust like this on it, everything makes sense to me. It feels like an absolute weapon of an old school naughty bike, and that is what the experience of these bikes is about, I reckon. Standing out immediately as well, of course, it's the clip-on handlebars. I don't know if they are clip-on, it's sort of clip-on style anyway, nice and low, racer style. It's actually fairly comfortable. I rode the Royal Enfield Continental GT 650 recently. It's quite a comfortable riding position. I'd describe this as even more comfortable. I'm really not feeling pressure on my wrists or too tucked up. It's not too bad. So for pottering around and just going out for a little ride, you wouldn't worry about comfort at all. Also, just the view. It's a really special ride, this. You've got that Thruxton 900 mark here with the gold pinstripe racing line down the middle of the tank, the brown grips, and I love the chrome wing mirrors as well, bar end wing mirrors, along with, you just can't beat an old school analog chrome dial to me. Absolutely love it. Ring it out. Just hear the character from that exhaust and the engine. It's not mega quick, but it's plenty to have fun with on the road. That's what it's all about, really. You can just ring it out and use that power and ring out the exhaust. Just blip the throttle on the downshifts. Oh, it's beautiful. So this is a basic bike as well, guys. It's not, I mean, you got ABS as legally required, but other than that, there's not much else there. There's no riding modes, there's no cornering ABS, traction control, no cruise control. This is what it's about. It feels really cool. Cafe racer, and it's staying true to the roots. So I'll go over specs in a bit, but I feel I should mention, guys, this bike, if you like the looks of it, this bike is for sale. Yeah, I've been lucky enough to ride it, and a huge thank you to Blade Motorcycles in Swindon. I'll put their link in the description, guys. If you like the look of this bike, check it out. Give George a ring, or any of the guys at Blade, and have a chat. They can fill you in on the mileage, the price, and the exact spec and everything. And trust me, I'm not gaining anything through plugging this bike. I'm just getting a chance to ride it and review it. But I gotta say, it is for sale, and I think George was saying it's one of the cheapest in the country at the moment as well, and for this spec it looks in really good nick, the paintwork. So yeah, if you're after one of these, and a special one, give Blade a call, and yeah, be quick about it, because I don't think this will last long. Woohoo! Yeah, buddy. Right guys, a few technical specifications for you. So seat height, 790mm seat height. I'm 5'9", 32-inch inseam. Very comfortably flat-footed on the floor with a nice bend in your knee. Now, I must say, for a cafe racer, it doesn't have that bigger angle on your leg here. Usually it could be a little bit more tucked up. I must say, I think that's a good thing on the Thruxton 900. It's not too crunched up, crunched over, weight on your wrist. It's a fairly comfortable ride. I was surprised with that. And along with that, you don't feel inferior on the road. It's got a nice, decent enough size to it. Feels some sort of presence on the road. Along with that, it's 230 kilograms wet weight. So it's not a light motorcycle for a sort of stripped down cafe racer. And you can feel it a little bit when you're on the ground here and not moving. But once you're moving, it's absolutely fine. I wouldn't say it's a problem. So guys, on to brakes and suspension. fairly basic setup. So up front you have a single 320mm disc with a 2-piston Nissin caliper. The brakes are more than adequate for a bike with this power, weight, etc. I mean, they're not strong brakes, that is something to bear in mind, but they're perfectly safe brakes and a nice sort of progressive feel to the front lever. So suspension up front, I hope I pronounce this rightly, I never know how to get it, Kayaba suspension, 41mm forks, right way up, and I believe a little bit of preload adjustability on the top of the forks there. Again, simple setup, you can feel it on the road, it's a little bit softer, soaks up the bumps nicely, but if you start pushing on, if you're looking for a racy, sporty vibe, this is not it. It's a softer setup, more with that retro vibe of the bike. So guys, brakes on the rear, you have a single, again, disc, 255mm disc with a 2-piston Nissin caliper. Suspension, you've got twin Kayaba spring shocks again, with a little bit of preload adjustability as well, I believe. Fairly basic back here, but you've got those twin spring shocks giving it that nice retro vibe to the bike.
Right guys, so back with the engine. So like I say, not the most technologically advanced motorcycle around today, but that's really not what these bikes are about. If you're after a cool British cafe racer, this is an absolute winner at a good price as well. So you've got the new, in 2018 Triumph introduced the new Thruxton, the 1200, which I have to say I've actually not had a ride on, but I have heard great things and it sounds like a peach of a bike, a real next level up in terms of specification, engine, suspension, brakes, chassis, everything. But this, at a great price, I don't know, if you were thinking of perhaps a Royal Enfield GT Continental 650, or you're just after a sort of customised, really cool cafe racer, Triumph Bonneville, that style of bike, then this is a real peach, because it really does feel like you're riding an old school bike. And that exhaust, I just can't say it enough, just brings it completely alive and makes it feel like the genuine article. So don't get it wrong, the suspension is not high performance, the brakes are not high performance, but it's a really involving, fun, old school feeling bike. When you start really pushing it on, which I really haven't, to be honest, had a chance to do today, it's too cold, you start to feel its limitations, but let's be honest, who's actually racing these style of bikes? If you want to tear up your local community, get your hands on this. Right guys, many thanks for watching the video. Shout out to mental health awareness. I hope you're all doing well out there. If you're feeling bad, give it a go. Get on a bike, get your start riding. It's great therapy, helps me out a lot. If you're interested in the bike, check out in the description of the video below, I'll put Blade Motorcycles link. Click on that and you can check out this bike and give Blade a call if you're interested. Many thanks for watching, see you in the next one. Ciao Bella.